So, welcome to our episode 2 of Desert Island Discs. Today we are joined by Tom Astle, who works who works for Move Imperial. So, Tom, can you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do at Imperial.
So, cheers, Leisha. I'm Tom. I work as the sport administrator. So, I coordinate and put on all the different sporting fixtures and events that the students take in, from like kabaddi all the way to football, netball, fencing, and then run some of the five-a-side intramural league as well, which is good fun. Really, I've been there nearly a year now, despite the four months furlough or whatever it's been now. But yeah, it's good. I really enjoy it. Good to see you again.
Cool, perfect. So like I've previously done one of these with Will Hollier, who also works for Move. So this is our second episode. So I'm going to do it the same format. Okay, so I've got a quick fire round that we're going to go through. Okay, so tea or coffee?
Coffee, always coffee.
Coke or Pepsi?
Or Coke.
Cat or dog?
Dog, hate cats.
Call or text?
Text.
Cardio or weights?
I don't think I do much weights, at least you've seen me. Cardio.
Cardio. Early morning or late nights?
I'd say neither, but late nights, probably.
Okay. Bath or shower?
Shower.
Wow, rocks or pinballs?
Pinballs all day, every day. They're the best.
Passenger or driver?
Driver, although I'm not very good at driving.
Okay.
Carl will tell you.
TV or book?
TV.
Horror or comedy?
Comedy. I can't watch horror films.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Fleece or hoodie?
3/4 zip.
That's not an option.
Fleece then.
Working alone or working in a team?
In a team, definitely.
Cool. So there are quick fire rounds. So if you don't know Tom, you know that he prefers a 3/4 zip to a fleece or a hoodie. He does often come into work with not a coat on, just a 3/4.
Always 3/4 there. Everyone loves them.
So we're going to move on to your 3 songs. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I will play them, and then you can explain what the song is, who sings it, and then why you've chosen this. Okay.
Yeah.
So bear with me.
I forgot what the first one is, but.
So, go ahead, Tom. Explain who sings it and why you chose it.
That's by Foo Fighters. It's called Hey Johnny Park, and Foo Fighters like a big part of my teenage years. I think I listened to them a lot and really liked where they came from. So this song's on the second album, but I've really got to like them because Dave Grohl, who's the singer and guitarist, was also the drummer in Nirvana. The whole first album he recorded by himself in the studio. So he sang, did the drums, guitar, and bass for it all. So it was really just quite inspiring how someone can do all of that. And then from there, got into all their albums and stuff. And watching, there's a Foo Fighters film, which is pretty good. And this song came on, and there's just a video of him with this, I think, Gibson Explorer guitar, which is like quite a cool shape if you haven't seen it. And so I've got one of those now. So, and it's just really catchy song. I like it how it goes. And then I've seen Foo Fighters a couple times now, and they're just brilliant. And the energy and stuff. So it's a big part of, I think, my school days. Yeah, it's quite nice to listen to. It was hard to pick one because obviously there's quite a lot that you could associate with it.
Yeah.
But no, this one is one of my favourites, and learning it on guitar and stuff like that, it's really nice, and it's quite worth a listen if you haven't ever listened to Foo Fighters much and watched the film. It's a good watch.
It's called Hey Johnny Park by Foo Fighters. If anyone's interested.
It is. It's good.
Cool.
Give it a go.
We will go on to your second song. Okay.
This one's a bit of a weird one.
Introducing drum and bass, don't limit yourself to just one or two drums. You can always add more to the equation. Why not try adding a bit of bongo?
And what is that song, Tom?
That is Music Club by Chase and Status, and it's a bit of a different one. But that one kind of really represents or speaks like my whole 3 years at Manchester with all the music scene there and Warehouse Project and stuff like that. But it was a struggle to pick one again. So this one we always used to go, we called it poving or charity shopping. So there's loads of charity shops near where we live, and we'd go and try and find like cool shirts or stuff. And we found Chase and Status' first album just on CD. So we got that and put it in my mate's car in the end of second year, and it never really left. So there was always that song in the car when we were driving to hockey training. 5 of us cramped in this tiny little car, driving down the road. And it was just a really good season that year. We won the league, we did win the cup, and that song seemed to always be there at parties. And so I think it's a good way for me to look back at my uni years, which I did love. And it was a good one. I still haven't seen Chase and Status. I really want to go at some point. I think the one time they were in Manchester when we were there was a Tuesday night before a game. We weren't allowed to go because our coach told us we couldn't.
Oh no.
So, but I spoke to my mates about what one to pick for that, and it was difficult. But I think we went on that one in the end just because of those car journeys.
Yeah, Chase and Status have got some good songs, to be fair. So I can see how it'd be hard to pick a good song from them.
It is a bit of a different one as well. It's a bit weird. So
it's different.
It's good.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be different sometimes.
Yeah. And your last song? And what is that song, Tom?
It's Yellow Mellow by Ocean Alley, who are an Australian band. When I was in New Zealand over last Christmas or the Christmas before, I met a few Australian guys, and they played this quite a lot, and really started listening to it and getting into it when I went back to Australia after that. And a good band. And when I was there, they won the Hottest 100, which is like a countdown of all the best songs of the year, and one of their ones won it, Ocean Alley. So I've got into quite a lot of their music, and for me, it really, listening to it is like a flashback to being in New Zealand and doing all that kind of stuff, like mountain biking, skydiving with them, and all that kind of warm weather, because obviously the seasons change around warm weather and just not really doing anything, sitting on beaches and going for walks and stuff like that, really, which is quite nice at the moment when can't really do much of that stuff now. So it's quite nice to look back on that. And they were good guys as well, so hopefully I'll go over again and see them, and then all the guys from that like year out and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really good to look back on with music and stuff. It's an easy way to attach yourself back to it.
I think it is weird how a song takes you back to like one place straight away. There's quite a few songs that I hear and go, I know exactly where I was or what I was doing when that song is on. And it's good how music can take you back to a memory straight away.
I find that can happen in a bad way as well, though. I think, I don't know, I was at a student concert a few years ago, and every time this song comes on now, I just space out because I'm like, oh, I can't hear this.
Can't hear. Think of the good memory.
That definitely does something. But yeah, that's a good song. I like them. It was difficult to pick 3, as we said. Obviously,
I think yours are really good as well. Very similar to Will, who I interviewed before. It was through his age, and I think you've done that as well. So you've done when you were at school and growing up with Foo Fighters, and then Chase and Status were in uni, and you brought you back memories, and then one when you were a bit older and traveling. So I think that's kind of how people will progress with songs. So yeah, really good. Thank you.
Tried to. It's hard though. I can't to me. I felt like George Ezra. I do love George Ezra.
Maybe if we do this again with you, you can pick 3 more.
Oh, exciting! I can expand, branch out.
Perfect. So next one is the two books that you've chosen, why you've chosen them, and what have they taught you about in life, or what have you taken from those books?
I have to click off here because I wrote some stuff.
Right.
One book I listened to recently, which I'd recommend, is called Factfulness.
Okay.
And I forget the guy it's by. That's why I'm looking on here. But he's by a kind of health professional, and he goes through how he looks at the world in a fact-based kind of a fact-based thing, because there's some questions at the start of the book which he asks you to answer, and they're all about kind of what percentage of women across the world complete school, how many people have access to electricity, what the wealth gap is, and doing that with normal people and with people in like positions of power. So like at the World Health Organization and stuff, people would score less than a third.
Yeah.
And his point was, why, when I give this quiz to chimpanzees at a zoo with 3 buckets of bananas, did they get a better response than people that are meant to be qualified and know what's going on in the world? And it's all about how kind of it's difficult to get this fact-based perception of the world because of the media, and how we have these instincts to dramatize a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, for example, like one of the things is blame. So once something happens and we find a solution, or we're offered a solution saying that it was their fault, we stop looking at the problem at a deeper level, and we then think, okay, we've solved it, it's their fault, let's blame them. But usually there's things that have led to this conditions that aren't their fault, and we'll take a deeper look at it to find things.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting, and reading that
sounds really good. Yeah,
it was good, and a bit of eye-opener to get through. And it shows, one of the things that I took from it is that there isn't a developed and a developing world anymore. Most people are in the middle. So if you look at a graph, everyone's on their way now, and apart from a couple that do need help, it's the middle where most things are. And we tend to take percentages or graphs looking at either end and to see the extremities, but if we look in the middle, we can find most of the answers, which is quite handy. And it's quite interesting, and especially now.
Who was that by again? Sorry.
Yeah, good question. Hans Rosling. He's a Swedish scientist.
Hans Rosling. And what is the book called?
Factfulness.
Factfulness. Perfect.
Yeah, that's good. It's on Audible as well. That's where I got it. So listen to it. The second one, it's not very much. It's quite a book that I enjoyed and found quite a lot. It's called The Captain Class by Sam Walker.
Right.
So what he does is he decides he wants to analyse the greatest sporting teams that have ever existed and see if they have any kind of similarities between them and what made them good. So some of the teams are like the French handball team, the Hungarian football team of the 50s, Brazil, women's hockey Roos hockey team, Australia, and Barcelona in like the start of this decade. And what he finds is that amongst all these teams, there was a captain who was willing to go out their way for the team in some sense. And it was not necessarily they were the best player, but they were the water carriers for their team, and they would speak up, and they would be what kind of they had in common. So it's quite an interesting read, and it's good if you're interested in sport, because it does look into quite a lot of interesting teams.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see the effect someone can have on that, and like the emotional control you need to have to lead those teams.
Yeah, because I think there's always a question, kind of what makes a good captain, or what makes a good leader. And I suppose that book kind of pinpoints in every single team the same characteristic that captain or leader has.
Yeah, it is good. I'd definitely recommend that one. And it's not like a difficult read either, because it's got lots about sport and stuff, and you learn a lot. But yeah, those two have definitely changed my thoughts on different things and how I go about stuff.
Yeah, perfect. They sound quite interesting, actually.
Tried to be interesting. I did try.
Okay, so next one. So if you were stranded on a desert island, or you knew you were going on a desert island, what one item would you take and why?
It's not really one item, but I need something to watch like sport on.
Right.
So I want to have like Sky Sports and be able to watch the football or the rugby or the F1.
Right.
Because that would keep me entertained. Like a Skybox and a TV.
Or you could download Sky Go on your phone and just take your phone.
But I don't have enough data to watch football all the time.
You'll have to prioritise which
And
games you want to watch.
And if I have signal on this desert island, I'm leaving.
You don't get signal. You just get internet.
Okay, I get.
Nothing else.
So I can have internet and Sky Go and my phone, but I
But you
can't
can't
have
really
a
do it.
Sky
No.
box and a TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fair
Well,
enough.
yeah, whatever I can watch some games on.
Yeah. So the next one is, I'm sure, which the question is why a lot of people are going to tune in to find this out.
Yeah.
So if you had to go on a desert island, what 3 members of Move or even college would you take and why?
So I tried to get Will to tell me who he took. Because
Okay.
if he didn't take me, we're not friends anymore. But I'm not going to take him, so that's fine.
Okay.
I thought about this, like you could go practically fun.
Yeah.
But I've gone for it like a mental point of view to keep me like sharp and going. So I'm going to take Kyle because he's going to keep me fit.
Okay.
So
who is, just explain who Kyle is for
the
those
S&C lead coach at Move.
Yeah.
And often go for beers and after work, so he's good fun. So I'll take him and he can keep me fit and going. And then I'm going to take Helen, who's one of the ALT members, because she's always very positive and tries to get me to do things when I don't want to. And then the third one, I'm going to need to stay up mentally sharp and stuff. So I've decided to take Chris because I disagree with him on a lot and he'll keep me going.
And who's Chris?
Chris is one of the duty managers who I'm currently beating at fantasy football. So that's good. So I'll definitely take, I think, those 3 because to keep me like, motivated, physically sharp, and then mentally on top of my game. They'd keep me sane, I think.
That's a really good 3 actually. Like why you've chose them. So Will, who did it before, the 3 who he chose were practical. So you've gone kind of the mental side of it, which is really good considering the whole thing that we're going through with COVID at the moment, that like your mental health is really important, like with being at home and stuff. So I really like those answers, so thank you.
No worries. Yeah, it'd be good. I don't know how I'd do on a desert island, but I think it'd be all right. If we've got the football, we'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Then you can disagree and agree with people.
Yeah, get into a good discussion.
Cool. Okay, so since you've kind of been on lockdown, and I think you mentioned this earlier that you're a staff member that's been furloughed for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Since you've been being at home, what hobbies outside of work have you done? And have you had the chance to do more of these or less of these, or have you been less motivated?
I think obviously there's a lot of time to do different things. So I've been reading more. So I've reread a couple of those books I said. I've started playing some golf, which I'm really not very good at, but it's nice just to get out on my own. Yeah. And then I've started running a lot more. So I've been trying to run more every month than the month before. So I've done 230k this month. Wow. And then I'll try and do more next month, which is going to be difficult when it gets to November.
But, you're doing 1,000k a month.
Yeah, it is. I've said I think it's all about how you phrase what you're doing, what state of mind you're in. It is, although it's not a good situation, I'm someone that always likes to keep busy. It is a gift at the same time. Yeah. So it's kind of balancing that up. But that being said, some days like you wake up and it is very difficult because it's just another day of like you don't know what day it is. All my family are all working, so it's just really I wake up and then it's me till 5 on my own. Yeah. But I think it's just taking it day by day and setting little goals and just trying to keep yourself busy. Yeah. But yeah, it's been good. I've been able to do a lot of things that I wouldn't usually. But then I think I would rather be working because I've always kind of switched on a bit to it. So doing all this like sport work on the side and trying to get involved in some stuff here has been helping. Yeah. But I think keep you engaged almost. It's definitely a day-to-day thing. Like one day I'll be great and the next day it's going to be what do I do today? Or yeah, I think you're not the only person who's feeling like that as well. Some people have been furloughed on a rotation system, which it's probably a good amount of time to have off, and then but people are then going back. But for those who've been off for months now, it can be a hard time, and there are thousands of people in exactly the same boat, which it's no fault of anyone's, and it's just a weird time. Yeah, it's all right. Hopefully the weather gets a bit better today and I'll go out again.
Yeah, out and about.
Yeah, go and
Cool.
do some stuff.
So the last question for our episode 2 of Desert Island Discs. What have you missed during lockdown? Has there been any surprises? And will you have any positives to take away? So looking back in a year's time or 2 years time, think, oh, when we had coronavirus, we all had to stay at home. I actually missed this side of it. Or
I've definitely missed my friends down in London a lot, and
yeah,
at the start, I've missed just sport in general. Like from my role, it's quite competitive with sport stuff, and then when I'm not at work, like I play sport or watch sport, that competitive side, and having all of that kind of competitive bit stripped away for the first few weeks was annoying. I think I got frustrated, and I took that out in the wrong places. And I spent a lot of time on FIFA as that came on. Like I'm going to win things,
right.
But I think I've enjoyed the fact that I can like get out and run and be back home with my family. It's been all right for the most part.
Yeah.
I think I'll look back on it pretty favourably at the moment. I think I'm lucky that I could get out of London and not be in that tiny little flat that I have with mice and pigeons and
in a zoo, by the way.
and then come back home. So it's been I think overall good, but obviously it's best of a bad situation rather than being what I'd like to be at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be good to get back and see everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone's kind of missing the social side of it. As much as, you moan about getting up for work, I think people have really missed it.
I never moan, Leisha. What are you on about?
I mean, for me, I've really missed the social side of it. So doing things like this with people from Move is really good, because this is the kind of conversation you'd have in the office or with your friends or something. So it has been good. So thank you.
No worries. Thanks for having me. It's been good.
No worries.
You're trying to find the recording button.
Yeah.
I can see you trying really hard.